Hey YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to Chironus Things. Today we're going to be checking out a new flashlight from Wuben. This is the X4. This is a very impressive flashlight. I've had this for quite a while now, so let's get to talking about it. First, I want to show you guys what comes in the box when you initially get this. Here's the box, and there's the size of the flashlight next to the box. So it is a little bit large, and it does give us some information on here. 1500 max lumens, goes up to 205 meters, and a 720 max side light runtime hours. We've got some different specs here on the back and the sides. Pretty nice box as usual from Wuben. They usually have nice packaging. And when we open it up, here this just kind of folds out, and you're greeted with the manual on top. Of course, the flashlight would be in there. And then we have a little box here which contains a USB-A to C cable. And so this is what it's going to look like when you unbox the Wuben X4. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the dimensions, which I'll throw up on the side of the screen. And while we're doing that, let's look at some size comparisons. First up, I have the Claris Flat Tack X2. This is their new small tactical style flashlight, a little bit more EDC friendly, of course. And I just reviewed this on my channel if you're interested. Alright, let me try to get this even since it's slanted there on the bottom. The Claris Flat Tack is going to be a bit longer there. The Wuben is quite a bit thicker, but I mean, to be fair, it is called a flat tack. So, and then on width, the Wuben is just a little bit wider as well. So there it is next to the Claris. And then one more here, we'll look at the Wuben X2. So this is the X4. Here we've got the X2. You can see they've come a long ways here. Quite a bit longer there on the X4. As far as width, the X2 is just a little bit wider. And the X4 is just a hair thicker there. So there it is in size next to the Wuben X2. As far as the battery and charging on this X4, you'll notice that it works very similar to something I reviewed recently in the Wuben G5. So instead of being styled more after the X line, even though this is the X4, this actually is much closer to this G5 and how it works. And that when you put this little lever all the way up here, you'll see we can access our USB-C ports. So this does have USB-C recharging when you lift this all the way up. Okay, and then additionally, if I just move it up to the first setting here and I hold, it gives me my battery indicator level. As for the design on this flashlight, there is a lot going on. Potentially the most I've ever seen on a flashlight. So let's get to talking about it. Here on the tail, we do have a tail switch. You can see it's pretty clicky. I will say that when standing it up on the tail, it can stand, but it's not as steady as it could be, just since, as you can see, that does lift up just a hair there. So you're probably better off standing it on the head instead of the tail. Now, we can hit this little switch here. There we go. And now that I unlock that, I set the little switch here to the unlock feature. I am going to press right here and pop that out. And that is where we're going to access our battery. So it comes with an 18650 Wuben labeled battery. And so that means, yes, this is a somewhat flat flashlight where you can actually remove the battery. It's not just some built-in battery. It's super easy to do there. You just plug it back in, snaps it. That will stay by itself, but it does have the lock function. There we go. So I just put it back in the lock. And now when I hit that button, it does not open. So we've got the ability to access our battery. We've got a tail switch. Obviously, we've got just kind of a unique design going on here on the light. On the back, we have a clip. You'll see there that it just kind of curves way up there. So this is how much you'll have sticking out of your pocket. Nothing too crazy. Okay, and then from there on this side, we don't really have anything just but writing. And on this side, obviously, we have our user interface switch and our button to control the actual functions of the light. Then you'll see we have multiple emitters here. We have a large one, we have two tiny ones, and we have another one with some type of TIR over it or something like that. There's a lot going on here in the head. So for the user interface, when this is on lockout, you can't do anything from the side switch or the tail switch. When I move it up to the very first setting, so here, see, I just click it up one, and now the arrows show on this little setting. That's going to be your side light. So I can click my button here on the side, and now I'm on my aux mode. I can change colors by rotating this dial here. Okay. And then I can hold to switch to a white light, where again, I can rotate the dial to brighten it. It's extremely bright. And I can rotate that back down to make it dimmer. All right. Now, if I hold the tail switch while on the setting, we got to turn it off, and I can access turbo mode, momentary. See? If I click it, it doesn't stay on. It's really just meant to be held down in a momentary turbo mode while it's off from that setting. Now, if I move it up one more setting, it's the same thing. So tail switch is really just meant to be a tactical tail switch there. Okay? All right, so anyways, let's go back to our side button here. And now we're going to control the out the front. So you see there I clicked it, it turned on, and I'm simply just going to scroll to control my brightness levels wherever you want to set it at. So it gets extremely bright if you want it there. And again, tail switch does nothing while the light's on, but if I click it off, that's where I get that momentary turbo. So now on this top moonlight setting is where the tail switch changes, where you can click it and it goes on your moonlight mode. And then additionally, if you press the side button, it's still moonlight mode. Scrolling that rotating dial does nothing. This is specifically a moonlight mode there. So that is the user interface on this. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the performance numbers on the side of the screen. And next up, let's take this outside and see what it can do with some beam shots. Now that we're back, let's talk final thoughts on this Wuben X4. I'll be honest with you guys, this is probably one of my top flashlights of 2025 so far. I'm not going to say it's the best release. I haven't decided on that yet, but I will say this is a top release. Between being able to swap out the battery, being able to have both a tactical tail switch, plus this really awesome user interface here. I love how easy that is to use. And then being able to just move this dial to adjust different things. I love the user interface on this. It's got a pretty nice clip. It's really nice to be able to just hold and use it. Feels like good quality. I love the different features on the side light and everything, auxiliary lights. It's got outstanding performance out of the beam, especially on turbo on this X4. Everything about this is really impressive. I like it a lot. I was already really into my Wuben G5, and this just feels kind of like a big, beefier, nicer version of this Wuben G5. So if you have one of these and you like it, definitely check out the X4. Now, as far as price, I'm not 100% sure yet because I don't think this is released on Amazon right now at the time of me recording this, but I think it's going to be running around $40. I'm honestly not sure though. So just I'll post the link when I have it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great week.